Well, hey guys, welcome back to Waters Family Homestead. Alright, so this is what I spent my Sunday evening doing. I still got to cut the weeds down around the propane tank, but I need to get it sanded and painted too, but that's a whole nother story. But I did water the garden some. Oh, I forgot I picked a tomato that was half ripe. That's got some, I don't know what causes it, but I'll show y'all one. I've had 2 or 3 that I picked that were like that. Most of them wasn't very deep, but what causes that? Because that one's deep. Whatever that caused that, an injury or something, and it healed around it, I don't know. I'm not going to eat it. I'm going to go out there and throw it to the chickens. But the watermelon, the last 2 that were in the 3x3 bed, both started, one of them split and the other one, I'm not sure if it split, but they both rotted. So I just left them in there. But I've got another watermelon growing outside on the ground back there. It's about a little bigger than a softball. But as you can see, the vines are growing everywhere. They're taking over. So I moved the tomato plant that was in there up here to this one just to get it away from the watermelon vines. See, it's about to take over here and there. And then I moved the squash down a little bit to get it away from it. I don't want the watermelon attaching and killing and taking over everything else. But I have been picking quite a few tomatoes. I've probably got a couple dozen that I just put in the freezer. And like I say, a lot of these with that type of injury could be used, but I just haven't. And I put one up here just to get it away from the watermelon vines. And then the squash is taking off. The ones in here were planted last, so I understand they're behind. That tomato bush still got, or tomato plant still got a couple tomatoes on it that are green. This one has got one small one right there left. It's starting to turn a little bit pinkish on one side. And then this one's got at least three more on it. Look how big that squash plant's gotten, and it's already got blooms on it, little baby squash. This one's got some on it, and I think this one does. I'm not positive. But either way, tomato plants back there are just all up inside of it. They're just covered. Matter of fact, I see another big one right there that's starting to turn a little bit red. I may have to pick it tomorrow. But anyway, the garden's winding down, but it's still producing. All right, let me get over here to the chickens. All right, so I had my oldest grandson with me this weekend, and we didn't do a whole lot. We had vacation Bible school all last week, which wore me out. So, look at them, tearing that mater up. But, so we didn't do a whole lot on Friday evening because, of course, we didn't get home till 9 or later. But Saturday we didn't do bunch. We took care of the chickens and that was about it. And we specifically had to fill this feeder up. And the female turkey, as you see, all you see is the male here. The female turkey was continually picking on some of the other chickens. She chased them all the way around this pen, and they come back up to eat, and she'd chase them back away. So I disposed of her, let's just put it that way. The problem's gone. He doesn't normally cause a problem, but he done picked, the female had done picked a sore on the back of a couple of hens' head where she was picking at them, and I'm just not going to have her kill my chickens. So she got taken care of, and they emptied that feeder today, and I really don't understand how my grandson and I both, we filled it up. But I did get 21 eggs today and about that many yesterday and the day before. So that's what I'm averaging, 20, 21 a day. These the 8 little ones in the middle pen, they're about 3 weeks old. And they're still small enough, they're finding ways to get out of the fencing. And I don't know where they're getting out other than the crack at the door. Well, I blocked the crack off at the door, and 2 days in a row I came home from work, and looking at the camera during the day, there was a couple that were out. Well, all of them but one black one got back in with mama. But that black one was out here chirping, running back and forth on the fence. Couldn't figure out how to get back into the pen. So rather than take a chance of, the baby chicks being out too long with no water and all that, I just locked them back in the coop. The junior, the mama hen, and all of the 8 babies are locked back in the coop. And I filled it up with straight start and grow yesterday. And today it was about a little below a quarter. So today I mixed half layer pellets and half start and grow. Now that's about a week earlier than I would like to have started, but they're wasting so much of that start and grow. I need to add that pellets to it to help slow down the waste. Now, as you can see in the last pen, or the first pen, those baby chicks, they're about half the size. I mean, they're much, much bigger. And they're all doing well. The 7 that are over here are still here. There's 5 white with color, and then a gray one, and that brown one up there. And if I'm looking at their comb on top of their head, I've got 2 or 3, I think 3, that I can see some comb coming on. And the rest of them aren't showing any. So maybe that means I've got 3 roosters and 5 hens, or 4 hens. I don't know. But either way, they're doing really well. They're healthy. They're active. They do the same thing the other chickens do. When I walk out here, they run up to the fence because, want me to give them a treat. But I know I haven't done a video in about a week, and I've got some video of Vacation Bible School, but I'm not going to post it on YouTube especially. I might do some editing and throw a little bit of it up on Rumble or Liberty Club, but I'm not putting it on YouTube because they're playing music. Even though it's Christian music, I'm not taking a chance that YouTube's going to give me a strike for it. So it is what it is. But we enjoyed Vacation Bible School. If you're ever in the area, Southwest Georgia, you're more than welcome to come to church with us. I believe we have a great pastor. We have a great assistant pastor. We've got a whole lot of people that volunteer to help with the kids, and the little kids, the babies, the teens or preteens. We try to make sure everyone is involved, and our church the numbers just show it. I know when I started attending there, I don't know, I guess roughly 5 years ago, I never really kept up with it. I think they were averaging around 140, 150 a week. Now we're averaging 190 to 210 a week. So it's growing. And I've never been a fan of real big churches, and this is not that big for our area. The biggest church in our area is right next door to us, and it's got probably 600-800 people. But I really enjoy our church. If you're ever in the area, send me a message. I'll invite you to church and come check it out. But anyway, I know I haven't done a lot of videos. I'm trying to cut back on it a little bit on purpose, just because of life gets busy, especially this time of year in the summertime. And it's hard to keep up with everything. I've still got to move the limbs I threw out and get the last part of the trunk out of the pen, and then cut that grass back there. I did move the rain gauge from the back post to up here, so I didn't have to walk so far back to check it every time it rains. In the last 4 days, we've gotten about 3 inches of rain. So it thundered and boomed for a couple of hours this afternoon, and I didn't think I was going to get to cut grass today. It wasn't quite where I needed it to be. I don't know what that is white over there. Do y'all see that? Way over there on the property line. Well, it's not the property line, but at the edge of the cleared property. I'm not sure what that is. That may be a cat or something. Yep, that's what it looks like. Okay, well, my cat turned up missing. As long as that one don't get my chickens, we'll be friends. But there's plenty of mice for them to catch. But anyway, I just don't have enough hours in the day to get it all done and make videos. And if you notice, the last few I put up, I haven't had my logo or anything like that. Guys, I'm just making the video unedited and posting it uploading it. It saves me a ton of time. But look at the size of the scuppernongs that are coming on in here. They're about the size of marbles. But there's a lot of them inside the bushes. So the scuppernong vine's doing really well, considering it's just now really spreading the way I want it to. And I still haven't got back here and cut the wire. I'm gonna have to. But I get all these limbs dragged back into the woods, into the pile, then I can cut the grass through here. And the figs are doing extremely well. Matter of fact, I think I see one that may be ripe, if the birds haven't beat me to it. Yeah, I see a few of them that's probably ripe, quite a few. I'm gonna have to go get my basket. Look at that. Oh, the birds got that one, but they haven't got that one or that one or that one. They did get that one. There's another one over there they got. There's quite a few that the birds didn't get. I need to go get my basket and pick some figs. They're bigger this year, the ripe ones. There's quite a few the birds have gotten, but that's all right. I'm gonna pick the ones that are good and take them inside and wash them. Those will be mine. Still no apples on the apple trees. And this peach tree, of course, is the first year I've let it grow big. It looks big, but honestly, y'all, this is new growth from where I cut the tree down last year. This is all new. That tree grew that much. I mean, that tree grew that much in 1 year. So, even though I had blooms on the apple trees, I still don't see any baby apples. So, I don't think pollination was the problem. I don't know, but if I'm not going to get apples off of them, those apple trees are going to come down. But a guy I work with, you know, we're friends. I mean, we're not close friends outside of work, but we're friends. He knows that I told him I loved mulberry trees. We had a huge one in our front yard when I was a kid, and I've always wanted to have one on my property. Well, I planted one toward the front, and that thing cost about 30 bucks. And it's been holding on, but it's just never really taken off. And my ground's so hard, you know, I can understand. I planted one back here, and the little young bucks come in here and rubbed their horns on it, and I got video of it, and broke it all to pieces and killed it. But he was at Lowe's and said they had one left, and he didn't tell me how much it was, but he ended up buying it and dropped it off here because he didn't live far from me. But I planted it yesterday, and then I watered it really heavy today, and I'll probably end up setting a bucket here and fill the bucket up every day and let it slowly drain to give it water, at least for the first couple of months while it's spreading its roots into the ground. But another mulberry tree, and I'm not so sure about having 3 or 4 sprouts coming up out of the, you know, the main. So I'll probably see which one's the strongest and end up cutting the rest off and let that one grow up. See how it does. But anyway, all right, guys, that's my video. I'm sorry. I'm just not gonna spend an hour, 2, 3, sometimes 4 hours creating a video and editing it and uploading it just so YouTube can suppress it. I'm just not interested in it. As my daughter commented on my live, I do enjoy making the videos. I enjoy sharing my homestead with you guys, and I appreciate y'all subscribing and following. And I do have other content that I'm going to make and have some much, you know, more prepping videos. But if I can get a dozen, I'd like at least 15, but if I can get a dozen to 15 hens, and right now I've only got 15 baby chicks, so definitely not going to have 15 hens. But if I can get 15 hens, I'll probably end up hatching another round, try to get 15 hens, and then the extra roosters and all of these older hens and the turkey will all get processed, butchered and processed. Something I didn't show y'all. Some of the peaches look great, but most of them pretty much have, insects that done got into them. Some of them are baseball size, some of them are a little smaller than that, but some of them really have some color to them and look good, like that one up in there. That peach looks great. But I may walk in there and see if it's worth picking when I go over to pick the figs in a few minutes. But guys, I appreciate y'all hanging out with my channel, following my journey on this little mini farm, mini homestead, and kind of supporting me as much as you can, since YouTube does not. But I appreciate y'all very much. Please, it's more important than anything, remember what I've always told you. Jesus Christ loves you, and so do I. Y'all be safe, be prepared.